Welcome to the next level. This is the all-new Lexus NX with intuitive technical and our most advanced safety system ever. What moves from real DLUS? Chipotle licorice pizza, Baltimore Sanderson's most enduring movie yet. It's all about 5 stars. It's complicated pizza. Now trying in movie theaters everywhere. Rated R.
What's my seatbelt story? My car is more than 4 wheels. It's my after-work decompression zone. So when my windshield broke, I searched for someone who really knew my car. I found the experts at Safely Auto Glass. With their exclusive technology, they fixed my windshield. They recalibrated the camera attached to my glass, so my safety systems still work. Who knew that was a thing? Safely has service I can trust.
Safely repair, safely replace.
Involved on lots of windows, creating my engine. Yes.
It's Wednesday. You know what that means. AEW Dynamite now on TBS rather than TNT. Dynamite on TBS, whereas Rampage will stay on TNT Friday nights at 10 o'clock. Thanks for tuning in and listening. As always, I'm your host, Encyclopedia Sports, Cohen Luke 96. AEW Dynamite live watch along reactions live right here on YouTube. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below. The thumbs up button. Share hashtag AEW, hashtag AEW Dynamite. Chat questions and comments, super chats, super stickers. Always greatly appreciated as well. You might have heard the commercial promo there at the start highlighting what's to come tonight. But tonight we will see 3 championship matches along with a singles match between Malachi Black and Brian Pillman Jr. The AEW TBS Women's Championship Tournament Finals determine the first ever AEW TBS Women's Champion as well between Jade Cargill and Ruby Soho. We'll hear from the demigod himself as well, Chris Jericho, after his return last week during New Year's Smash. AEW World Tag Team Championship matchup with the Lucha Brothers, Penta and Rey Fenix, taking on Jurassic Express, Jungle Boy, and Luchasaurus. And then now, as it looks like we've had enough time to talk, it'll then be time for the main event of the evening. An AEW World Heavyweight Championship rematch from Winter is Coming last month, which was a 60-minute barn burner then. But tonight, part 2, Hangman Adam Page defending his AEW gold against Bryan Danielson once again. I'm sure they'll have a surprise or two here tonight, especially with it being the Dynamite TBS debut. Now, honestly, does that mean a return or a debuting talent? I don't know. Maybe both. Only time will tell, along with continuing to see, because as I speak, WWE is once again releasing talent. So we'll have to check in on that if we get around to it. But once again, thanks for tuning in and listening. We're going to finish up here for the first time on TBS for Dynamite, kicking off here within seconds. Switch the networks with the new TV deal under Turner. But rather than a movie, we have, in my opinion, one of the worst shows of all time wrapping up in the Big Bang Theory. And then now to begin All Elite Wrestling, AEW Dynamite, starting right now. One of the best shows on TV right now. They are changing up the opening video package a little bit. It's still the same song. It's a little shorter. They sped it up a little bit, it seemed like. It's Wednesday night. You know what that means. Good old JR, Jim Ross, Excalibur, Tony Schiavone on the call. They're in Newark, New Jersey at the Prudential Center. They'll tape Rampage after Dynamite tonight. Air that, of course, Friday night. Rampage still going to be on TNT now. They're going to show us what's to come. Yeah, the AEW Women's TBS Championship Tournament final with Cargill and Soho, Malachi and Pillman. Yeah, Jericho is going to speak for the first time on TBS since last century, 1999. We'll see if we party like it tonight on Dynamite or not. Serena Deeb's going to sit down with JR, so that's already an add-in filler. The AEW World Tag Team Championship match looks to be the main event because we're going to kick off Dynamite once again like we just did last month. The winner is coming with the AEW World Heavyweight Championship matchup with Hangman Adam Page and Bryan Danielson. So here comes the Yes Man, formerly known as Daniel Bryan in the WWE, debuted it All Out back in September. Yes, no, maybe so. The American Dragon is back. He won the number one contendership at Full Gear in November. A month later, a month ago, winter is coming right before Christmas, challenged Hangman, and they kicked off the show and went 60 plus minutes. And they're going to do the same damn thing here tonight, it seems like, as well. I thought, and that's why I said that earlier, you know, they'd have it be tonight's main event rather than kicking off the show once again. But voila, here we are, here we go. They're going to kick off Dynamite on TBS with a splash after the New Year's Smash last week to end 2021. Happy New Year, we're in 2022 now. And here comes the Hangman. Hangman Adam Page in another title defense. Of course, he won the championship at Full Gear in the main event that night against the cleaner himself, Kenny Omega, who has been out with injury ever since. Talk about, you know, surprises, whether it's a return or a debut of some sorts tonight. I doubt it'll be Omega. He's going to have, I would think, a little bit more time on the shelf for the time being, but hell, who knows? Maybe they do bring him back and, you know, go down that road again, because he's going to get a rematch whenever he does come back. I mean, I'd hold that off until spring, early summer. Of course, you still got Revolution and Double or Nothing to come. As actually earlier today, they announced in 3 weeks' time, Beach Break will return, but to kick off Dynamite tonight, we're going to have the AEW World Heavyweight Championship match with Hangman and Bryan Danielson. Yeah, there's going to be judges tonight, too. I totally forgot about this. We got Mark Henry, Jerry Lynn, and Big Show Paul White as our three official judges if this match would eclipse the 60-minute time limit. So, I mean, I would think it will. We'll see how many timeouts, commercial breaks we'll have. But, of course, they're still going to wrestle in the meantime. I don't know how many split screens we'll see, but Justin Roberts, of course, with the introduction here. Bryan Danielson and Hangman Adam Page. So let me know in the comments below, along with voting on today's question of the day poll on social media, Facebook and Twitter. Sure, go vote. Let me know who you have winning tonight's AEW World Heavyweight Championship matchup. So I have to kick off and start the show here tonight on Dynamite with Hangman Adam Page and DB, now BD, his real life name, and Bryan Danielson as Paul Turner, our official zebra stripes tonight. Shows off the title, and we're live as live can get. Bell rings, match underway, and Hangman goes right after Danielson. He moves, rolls out of the ring, and AEW Dynamite on TBS for the first time ever. Rampage to stay on TNT this Saturday as well. They'll have a 1 hour Battle of the Belts show from 8 to 9 on TNT as well. So we'll get more into that a little bit later on. But yeah, Bryan rolls out of the ring after a quick attack early by Hangman as soon as the bell rang. And then went and did some jumping jacks right in front of the three judges. Once again, Mark Henry, Jerry Lynn, and Paul White, the Big Show. They lock up now, middle of the ring. Simple collar and elbow now into the corner. Hashtag AEW, hashtag AEW Dynamite. A few chops, and then a nice takedown there by Bryan. drop kick to get Bryan ringside again, and he says, no, not today. It would make sense. To me, it would, at least. About you. Let me know in the comments below, once again, your thoughts and opinions as well. You go back to Full Gear. Seems like forever ago, but it's only 2 months. Not even 2 months ago. As they're looking to lock up again, middle of the ring. Cowboy shit chant from the crowd. I actually saw Hangman return and win that number one contendership to challenge Omega for the title at Full Gear back in October during the anniversary show. Be sure to go check out that video along with all other AEW and WWE live event videos from events I've attended live in living color, live right here on the YouTube channel. Should be in the wrestling playlist. If they're not there, check out the concert event playlist as well. And once again, thanks for tuning in and listening. But as they both back off, Bryan doing some more jumping jacks into the corner. Now they will lock up middle of the ring. Nice headlock there by Bryan. Same setup for AEW here tonight for Dynamite on TBS for first time ever. The opening video package was a bit shorter. Same music, same song. They just sped it up a little bit and changed around the graphics with, who wasn't a nice suicide dive there to take out Bryan Danielson ringside. Now Hangman's going to climb up top. And a moonsault, nobody there. He lands on his feet and rolls, and then Bryan runs him down, but he picks him up and power bombs him into the ring apron there, and now slides him into the ring. Now he wants him up, and he's gonna hit the big clothesline, the buckshot lariat, so they call it. But Bryan once again gonna roll out of the ring, and so this match gonna roll on. No, but the only thing of course, other than and there's some dude with a box on his head for some reason. There's suicide dive. Oh shit! Hit his fucking head right on top of the barricade there. That some AEW chants as well. That house show steel barricade. Bryan's hand, show a replay of it. Might have saved him there. Might have held him back, but that looked pretty dangerous, and as Bryan throws him off the ring post there in the corner. I mean, not necessarily mind games as of yet, but as the refs start to count, they're working ringside. I mean, of course, he's thrown out of the ring and has done so a few times. He'll roll back in, break the count, get back out. Actually, no, he'll stay in and get the crowd to boo him. He'll go attack him here in a second. Yeah, here we go. Okay. So he does roll back out. Ref's still going to have to restart the count here. But, he's, playing some mind games with him. He's doing some jumping jacks, and it's still pretty even, though, because, we just got underway. And it's pretty split down the middle. Hangman in control early, now Bryan, so we'll go back and forth. A few big chops and kicks now into the corner. And woos and some yeses. And AEW Beach Break. First we're seeing that here tonight. A little surprised that they're not doing it about 2 weeks later. Early mid-February as it's been, but the first time they had it was late January. So Beach Break, keep in mind for years to come when they have that TV special, it's going to be either late January, early February. So we'll have to see what they have planned for that. But of course, they still got a Saturday night TV special, just a 1 hour show, Battle of the Belts, to come this weekend. And so far, they only have 2 championship matches advertises they're continuing to show off what's still to come here tonight, as mentioned earlier. But yeah, Battle of the Belts. So from now until Saturday, 5 championship matches. And with the 3 tonight, we'll have Britt Baker defend her AW Women's Championship against Rio on Saturday. And then a TNT Championship match, rematch actually, from a few weeks back on the Rampage Christmas show with now Cody Rhodes defending against the former champion. And Sammy Guevara, but we'll get more into what's to come in the near future a little bit later on. This opening contest, your AEW World Heavyweight Championship match with Hangman and Bryan Danielson rolls on. Nice big clothesline there off the top rope. And then dives over the top rope and takes him out ringside. So Hangman's back in control. But no, back to what I was saying there. I mean, it really has been much that's been changed as of yet. I mean, I would have hoped, and they are keeping it for the most part the same, other than, no more TNT logo, it's TBS logo, and just the opening video package. But, I don't know how they're going to present a few other things, shortly, whether that starts tonight or at some point in time else down the line. Rampage, like I said, still going to be on TNT, so the mat will be the same as it is, but, they're just switching networks. That's the main thing. They're just switching networks. I mean, okay, the middle turnbuckle is different, it has the TBS logo now. It's weird seeing wrestling on TBS in now 2022, but it is what it is. And of course, this move was made because of Turner with TNT on Tuesday. Shit. Nice suplex there from Hangman to Bryan ringside, almost sending him into the steel steps. Midweek on Tuesday and Wednesday nights, TNT now has, along with basketball, as they've had, now hockey as well. So since hockey season started, until now, and then, we knew the move was coming soon. We've known, early January, until they made an official announcement, as Bryan on his knees praising the fans. Yeah, I don't think they'll go to... They might go to another 60-minute draw, but then you have your judges, and Hangman's going to retain. And then that'll give us a third match. But as I was saying there too, Tile is in with one another and tied up here. Hangman a little bloody. We're not going to miss a second. They're going to give us a split screen commercial. So AEW Dynamite on TBS, hashtag AEW Dynamite. We'll get back to the full action on full screen here momentarily, but match will continue. Once again, it is a AEW World Heavyweight Championship match with Hangman, Adam Page, and Bryan Danielson. Hangman's bleeding from the top of his forehead, right below his hairline. Ref checking in on him. And Bryan's talking with the crowd, it looked like he went over and was talking. Actually, he's now at the timekeeper's there, and he's getting a drink of water, refreshing himself a little bit. It looked like he was talking to the 3 judges, once again, Mark Henry, Jerry Lynn, and Paul White, the Big Show. No, but damn well Hangman's going to retain this title. It'll be 2/3 in favor of the champ. And then that'll give us, another time to, whenever that may be, Saturday, Battle of the Belts, a few weeks from now, Beach Break. That's why with Beach Break, I would have thought, I don't want to say if something else planned for February, that would have been early, mid-February, because on Revolution is early March. What TV special are you going to have in February? There's really, unless they'd want to go up, the week prior or the week after the Super Bowl, right after Valentine's Day, to do something then, okay, that would make sense, but, what are you going to call it? Because there's no really, you know, big holidays other than, say, President's Day and even Groundhog Day in February. And, Britt from Punksy, of course, Biller from Pittsburgh, and she is the world champion in the women's division, but now we're going to have two women's champions after tonight. That's a week after Beach Break. That's cutting it too close. You're going to want to, have to space it out. And, after the upcoming schedule, touring-wise, as they're in New Jersey tonight, they'll be in North Carolina this weekend and next week, D.C., Cleveland, Chicago, Atlantic City, and then just, for the most part, still on the East Coast, up and down. And then, Revolution's going to be in the Sunshine State in Orlando, Florida, early March, with, as mentioned by them after last week's New Year's Smash, that Jacksonville is getting a return date that Wednesday prior. But as we're coming back from the split screen commercial now, Hangman and Bryan Danielson headbutting each other now for the world title. And I believe Hangman, wasn't he bloody in the Winners Coming Championship match as well to kick off the show? But it wasn't until a little bit later on. Hell, we're not even 15 minutes or so into this match, make it 20. And, he's already busted open. He's already bleeding. So, a few chops now back and forth, but the crowd seems to be in it. I mean, it's a New York City area crowd. Woo, boo, yay with the chops and the headbutts. So, off the ropes they go, and then nice headlock into a suplex there by Bryan. And, really working his forehead, really punching him. And now he's got him in an armbar. No, but this goes back to Full Gear. It does. It even goes back further than that, but that's as far as we'll go for the time being. Just because, as I said day one for AEW, Hangman Adam Page, along with a lot of other people, I would hope would have said the same thing too, that he's a future champion. And, Bryan in 2021 wrestles for both the WWE and AEW, of course, debuting at the end of All Out after Adam Cole. So we'll see what they have in store for the Elite with the Bucks. Of course, Omega's on the shelf. But then, Cole's in AEW now, and then just as of, late, both Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly have also joined them as Red Dragon is back together. And speaking of dragons, the American Dragon, I don't know if that's his own blood or some of Hangman's, but he's getting blood right now too. So, ref's got his gloves on, and they're gonna continue to play this out. Another big chop there in the corner. But of course, Hangman, got gypped a few times. Took a necessarily a leave of absence, but he became a father. Whether you want to call it maternity or paternity leave, okay. That suplex misses. Hangman stands it up, and then he suplexes Bryan in a kick out at 2 there on the pin. I believe that was the first pinfall, if I'm not mistaken, near pinfall. So the judges, as they just panned on them a second ago, they're looking like they're writing stuff down. Of course, they're going to have to take that into consideration. Crowd trying to get them back on their feet as they're both on their knees facing each other. The mat's going to be bloody as hell the rest of the night after this match. Some kicks as chops to the chest now of Hangman. Hangman with a nice big reversal, though, the right hand there. But now off the ropes, big boot connects. Vertical suplex. Hold the tights. We're going to go vertical suplex over the top rope ringside, and then Hangman actually sticks it. And then Bryan going to shove him face first back into the steel post. So, ref going to go check on Hangman. Bryan just standing there, face into the mat on the ring apron. This is awesome chant from the crowd. But, of course, Hangman returned. Like I said, I saw that firsthand. Be sure to check out that video. Saw Bryan the same night. He was in, I believe, a fatal four-way. Or no, it was an 8-man tag is what it was. It was him, Christian, and Jurassic Express taking on Omega, the Bucks, and Cole. Yeah, that's what it was. I kept off the anniversary show a couple months back. And videos from that event and all others right here on the YouTube channel, so be sure to go check them out. A month later, 2 months ago now, Hangman won, after he won that casino ladder match, cashed in that chip and, became champion. He's held it since. And he's had to defend the title now a few times, second against Bryan Danielson here tonight. But go back to what I was saying there earlier with, I'm sure they have a surprise or two up their sleeve. I don't know what, though. Like I said, whether it's going to be a return or a debut of some sorts, I honestly have no clue. That's why we've got to sit down and watch this. Screw the spoilers. Let's actually enjoy it for once and not actually know, what's to come. But, and, hypothetically, we can, speculate all we want. But, with as Hangman has Bryan down in the corner, he rolls out of the ring again. He's busted open. Hangman, bloody face and all, he's doing jumping jacks now into the corner. Now they're going to take another split screen commercial. So 2 of those here in the first almost half hour or so of the show we're here tonight. So we'll go back to the action once again, full screen in a minute. But ref Paul Turner checking in on both wrestlers here as they continue to show off down the bottom left-hand corner what's still to come. Tonight, as mentioned earlier with the other championship matches, singles match, and then a few talking segments. There's another add in. MJF's going to be in action. Okay, so there's another filler for you. I'm sure CM Punk will get involved one way or another. Wardlow in action as well. That's also still to come. Hopefully he does a little bit more than, just power bombing his opponent 10 times and then pinning him 1, 2, 3. But, we'll see what happens. No, but with Hangman and Bryan Danielson here for the world title once again, you go back to Full Gear. Remember, they had a number 1 contender ladder match that Hangman won, and then in the main event, he cashed in that chip and defeated Kenny Omega to become the new AEW World Heavyweight Champion. The 4th, following Jericho, who Hangman lost to in the inaugural AEW World Heavyweight Championship match at All Out a few years back. And then Jericho, Jon Moxley, remember his name, Jon Moxley. Of course, he's been in rehab, but his name will tie into this in a second, believe me, as Hangman wipes the blood across his chest. He's got a big handprint on his chest and then just some streaks to follow. All blood. Whether it's his or Bryan's, they're both busted open right now. But then, remember last year at Winter is Coming, it was Omega to win the title over Moxley the same night Sting debuted, and then Kenny just dropped it to Hangman at Full Gear. And then these two last month had a match at Winter is Coming. That's why we're getting this rematch here tonight. So come full circle, back from the split screen commercial once again as well. A few big heads, but Jesus Christ, Bryan. He's really busted open. He's worse than Hangman. His is on like the side of his head. Like in between his eye, looks like. and where his hairline's like that's really, it looks it at least really dark and thick. Like he is really, and off the top rope, Jesus Christ. So I don't know if blood, was a prior discussion that, this is how it would be, or if, hell, it just happened like this, or what, but now they're both down and out after. He's really dripping too, shit. He's really gushing blood. Ref gonna check in on him. Try to stop it best he can. I'm sure Brian says, get the hell off me, I'm fine. Let me wrestle. Let's go. He doesn't give a shit. He doesn't care. Off the top, as Hangman looked to jump up, Brian actually, from behind, pushed him off. And now a knee off the ring apron. Or actually, Hangman catches him and then tombstones him from behind, and Brian's shaking. And shit, he's really fucking bleeding. He is really bleeding. They might want to either go home here quick or slow it down a little bit. Let him, as Hangman's looking for the buckshot, the clothesline. Here that comes, and then Brian falls to his knees, and then Hangman misses. That was good. He's really fucking bleeding. Holy shit. Of course, you don't want him to pass out. Because, especially in the middle of the ring, good luck waking him up unless they're going to... The plan is maybe to, quick roll up on a cradle, 1-2, and a kick out, bring a stretcher or something out for him. Go that way. Now, here comes the crossface, and now he's scratching his forehead. Brian's scratching the forehead of Hangman that's already busted open. Now he's got the crossface locked in the middle of the ring. So we're going to look for a rope break or a tap out. And if Hangman taps, Bryan Danielson's your new AEW World Heavyweight Champion here tonight. But, Mega dropped the title to Hangman, okay? Remember, Bryan Danielson was supposed to face Jon Moxley in that final, in the number one contender tournament, to face whoever would walk out full gear champion. But just prior to that, even with Moxley's book that came out in the meantime too, remember, he entered rehab, hasn't been seen since. So maybe Wild Thing comes out and screws over Bryan Danielson, and Hangman retains. Hangman's going to retain, I think, anyway. Moonsault off the top rope, throwing Bryan back into the ring. Going to go for another buckshot here from the near side hard camera. Clothesline misses. Bryan with a running knee. Going to go for a cover. 1, 2, kick out at 2.5. Match going to continue. No, Moxley never got a shot at Bryan Danielson. And then Bryan won the tournament, and now he's had 2 championship matches. So, and if Moxley's coming back at some point in time soon, why not now with this? That, back to what I said earlier, and it took a little longer than expected to get to it. That would make sense. To me, it would. That's my opinion. I don't know what you think. Because unless they're going to have Moxley do something else, you sort of always got to go, because it always, not always, but for the most part, always does. Wrestling, whoever took you out or, scored a settle here or there, once you come back, that's who you're going after. They didn't really do anything. They were supposed to have the match and they didn't, so they could make people forget, blah, 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 all that. But you could also make people remember, oh shit, yeah, that was supposed to happen, and now this is where we're going to go. And it gives Hangman some time to do whatever he's going to do as the champion, give him somebody else to defend the title against, and then you go back to, Bryan and Moxley for number one contendership maybe, and maybe add in a few other people as well. And then by that point in time, a few months from now, Omega's probably going to be back, and you're back to full strength. And just it's one thing at a time, no doubt about it. But yeah, the kick misses, and then holy shit, right on his fucking head. Cover, 1, 2, and then a rope break. No, he kicked out. He was right there for a rope break to just reach his arm up and grab the bottom rope. Oh, that's what he's going to do. But a kick out at 2.5. I think the ref is having to pay closer attention. Nice big tombstone there by Brian on the replay. Yeah. And his blood, it's not his whole face, it's just his left side. Brian with a big smirk. He's having to pay close attention more so than not to all the blood compared to everything else and making sure they're okay and they're still good to go. Because you don't want either of them to pass out, for God's sakes. I mean, losing this amount of blood in, this short a time, your body's going to eventually, even though you're running on fumes and adrenaline, you'll be all right. Yeah, no doubt about it. But just eventually you just hope at the latest is when this is over with and you get backstage, you'll shut down after you clean up and just hopefully they're both all right. Post-match here, we're saying, damn well they will be. Cover, but then no, he gets him into a submission. And now Hangman's going to pick him up and powerbomb him. But then Brian rolls out of it, quick roll up, actually gets him into a leg lock. And then a kick to get out of that. A few kicks actually to get out of it. So, I mean, we've seen a little bit of everything in this match here tonight, but a ton of blood. And like I said, I don't know if this was the plan by any means or if it was to, have it be this much. But, I'm sure... Oh, Jesus Christ. Suplex right on his neck. My God. Brian with his neck injuries. His neck issues. Hopefully he's all right. He's still in that position, too. I mean, of course he's going to sell it. You can tell he's all right, but still, man, that just... Come on now. And he's going to go for the buckshot again here. Another clothesline off the ropes. And then that one connects. Cover. 1, 2, 3. And Hangman pins Bryan Danielson clean. 1, 2, 3 to retain his AEW World Heavyweight Championship here tonight to kick off AEW Dynamite on TBS here in 2022. So the judges, they were only there if it went another 60 plus minutes for a time limit draw. That's why they were there. I just saw somebody, I don't know if it was one of the judges or not, go over into the corner near side and tell the ref something. So I don't know if they're going to go down that road still or not. I doubt it. They shouldn't. There's no reason to. And that's that. So Hangman's still your world champ, defeating Bryan Danielson. Up next, MJF's going to be in action. Tony Schiavone says he hopes he loses, but MJF's one of the best in the business. He's one of the best heels in today's era and potentially all time in pro wrestling history, for God's sakes. I mean, the shit he has said, and I mean, hell, probably even the stuff he's held back on saying, but he's going to tell you how it is. He's going to tell you how he sees it, and whether it's the truth or not, he's going to let you know. And now we're getting what the hell is this? I'll go Big Show promo for tomorrow. Of course, Cody Rhodes, one of the judges. All it is a damn America's Got Talent knockoff talent show. Some dude's gonna do a fucking cannonball or a splash from like, I don't know how many feet up in the air. Yeah, you should know about jumping off the top rope, Cody. That's probably as high as the cage was almost 2 years ago when you faced, I believe it was Wardlow, if I'm mistaken, right? Or was that Jeff Cobb? That was when Cobb was in AEW. Wrestle Kingdom, of course, is going on right now. But this dude's going to jump from however many feet it is. They give him the countdown. And then they fire a rocket launcher at him. He catches on fire. And now he's going to jump into a pole. And it was actually pretty cool, honestly, it was. But then they cut it. They continue to run the promo for the Go Big Show to return tomorrow. Yeah, I don't think anybody was expecting him to get caught on fire right there at the last second and then jump into a pool of water. But at least he's not jumping into more fire or something that's not water, punny beans. But good opening match. Only went, about a half hour or so. Maybe a little north of that, but and no John Moxley. No John Moxley there either. So we'll see what happens in that regard. Just with, once again, you go back to Full Gear with Omega, Hangman, Bryan, and then John Moxley. But remember, Miro was the one to replace him, and then Bryan beat him, and Redeemer, the former best man, has been seen recently either. All he's been doing is, cutting promos with the video package vignettes inside of a white room. So I don't know what they have in store for him by any means, but yeah, good opening match there. Hangman is still your AEW World Heavyweight Champion, so MJF's going to be in action next. Punk's going to get involved one way or another, I would think. Now we're backstage with the Acclaimed and talk about being able to talk. Max Caster cutting a promo. And the Acclaimed are, right now at least, one of the top tag teams in AEW. And next week, they're going to do a viral video, and the Acclaimed will arrive then. Cheers for MJF, because they're back in the tri-state area, back in his backyard. And he's going to be in action. There's a sign, MJF is better than me. Yeah, at least you know that. So, Maxwell Jacob Freeman, MJF. He enters 2022 undefeated in Dynamite singles matches. And then there's a fan there with a best in the world sign for CM Punk. It looked like he flipped him off. Now MJF's flipping off the rest of the crowd as he walks to the ring. So, like I said, this dude, he does whatever the hell he wants, and he doesn't care. And, he's better than us, and we know it. Is that Sean Dean? Yeah, the captain, Sean Dean, who, he's basically their number one jobber. He is head of local talent. Here comes Punk running down the ring as soon as the bell rings. And then MJF running, as JR would say, like the scalded dog he is. And then MJF, wah, crying his eyes out. So MJF's going to get counted out because this match is underway. CM Punk chant from the crowd. So no music for Punk. He just runs down. And Sean Dean still wants his match. Punk actually kicks him. What the hell? Punk gonna hit the GTS on Sean Dean, who, as I was saying there, he is ahead of the local talent. It's a DQ, and Sean Dean's your winner. So MJF gonna lose. So he's no longer undefeated. He has lost, and he's pissed. He is livid. He says bullshit. So he's gonna start off the year with a loss. Now Punk gonna get on the mic. So we'll see what Phil Brooks has to say. This is your future. This happens every single time. He just called MJF a little bitch. And then MJF now on the mic. Herpes infested New Jersey. I mean, you got to agree with him there. Punk says they're winners. You just lost. He's got a point. Fake and boredom. Shut the fuck up, chant. Yeah, Punk wanted to focus on winning a championship. MJF knows the truth. Without MJF, CM Punk is nothing. Other than Darby at the start, he's arguably the best opponent Punk's had since he debuted. Bill of goods is what CM Punk sold. Punk's not the savior anymore. You know who is? Maxwell Jacob Friedman, and I'm better than you, and you know it. Yeah. Where's Rosie at? They should get her involved in the storyline at some point in time with MJF. It'd be absolutely hilarious. PG Punk. And PG Punk chant now from the crowd. Do you think what? Do you think what? Come on. They bring in Roddy Piper because that was said by Punk last week, and MJF saying basically at least he was good enough to main event or WrestleMania, because we all know CM Punk never got to main event or WrestleMania during his WWE run. So that was a good line right there. That was good. So this turned into back and forth promo. And maybe MJF will main event a Mania too. Yeah, and Punk down to his knees laughing. The bidding war of 2024 just called Punk a dipshit. I'm surprised they're not chanting fuck WWE yet. All Punk is trying to do is kick his ass. Let's have the fight. They're going to take this the whole way to Revolution, is what they're going to do. Go. Yeah. Oh. Main event, the fourth night of a buy one, get one free extravaganza. Oh my. Grass ain't always green on the other side because there's a sewer line in the middle. You want the match? You got it. When's it gonna be? He just called him son of a bitch. This is heated. Next week, CM Punk versus Wardlow. Because Wardlow eventually is going to turn on MJF too. There's tension with them too. Wardlow is still going to be in action tonight. All right, so Punk's going to be in action next week. Hell, maybe they do this at Beach Break, in a couple weeks. I'm better than you and you know it, says MJF. I don't need your help, fat boy. Bullshit chant. The difference is what? It's called him Jeff a Wardlow. Or a Warm, excuse me. Yeah, Wardlow's coming. Yeah, eventually, he's right. And then now he's going to put him to sleep. Now Punk's music hits, so the crowd can sing along to it. But as they look into each other's eyes and cut a heated promo in the second segment of the night, eventually, don't know when, it's still going to be CM Punk and MJF. But next week, they say Punk and Wardlow. Wardlow's still going to be in action tonight. Like I said, hopefully he does more than a few power bombs, and then that's it. Jericho's going to be up next. He'll speak. What that entails, I have no idea. It's up next, so that was good. That was pretty funny. As I said, I believe last week, and if I didn't, well, here I am now saying it. The Punk MJF feud that is currently ongoing, at least on the mic, because we have yet to have a match, with the two of them. And once they do have a match, hell, because AEW likes to honestly do a ton of rematches of, whoever it is. But, we've seen a lot of trios matches, even though we have, but that's totally different compared to what I'm talking about here. They'll have one, they'll have a rematch, and then they'll have a grudge match, as they actually show off a advert for Battle of the Belts. And now here's the commercial for AEW Battle of the Belts, Saturday night, 8 o'clock. Just a 1 hour show on TNT with 2 championship matches advertised. I mean, an hour show for Rampage. They normally get 3 matches, so we'll see what else they add in. Hell, it might even be a, backstage segment or something promo-wise, continuing a feud. Maybe just some highlights from this past week on Dynamite and Rampage, for all we know. Who knows? But it's one of the best on the mic, at least, because once again they have not had a match yet. Feuds, that I can recall seeing, remembering as of late in all professional wrestling, just not AEW, WWE, whatever company you want to put beside it. And hell, this just started. And, once again, when it has started, people were like, for Punk, because, once again, Darby, now MJF, in between, up against Team Taz, really, wasn't much, but, and no offense to them by any means, Hook's going to be the best of them all when it's all said and done in the long run anyway. They're not doing anything with them, and you got to let it play out. Rome wasn't built in a day. One thing at a time. Don't overreact. Don't be too quick to judge. And, eventually in the long run. Because, hell, who knows? Whenever they, get done with this, because it could, run from now until, late spring, early summer into next fall, you know? And, better or worse, probably, I mean, because this will be, won't necessarily be remembered as Punk's first feud, but it'll be one that, and even for MJF too, because he's been there a few times, right there, cusp of, not necessarily excellence, because he is, I shouldn't say excellent, but he's damn good at what he does. He's been there. He's been in a championship match or two. He's just never been on top. And of course, Punk hasn't yet either, at least in AEW. But, whenever they decide to wrap it up with what I'm getting at, it could go down as a number one contender match. Whoever wins gets the title, gets a title shot, title match, and then potentially gets the title, and then they go back to it again. But we'll see. I'll digress on that topic because we're all going to sing along to Judas as Chris Jericho, the champion himself, Demo God, is back following his tour with Fozzy. They got to find a new drummer, but I believe they did. He returned last week at New Year's Smash, and we'll see what he has to say now next on Dynamite here towards the top of the hour, almost an hour or so in to the show, which doesn't even feel like it, but that's what happens when you're having fun. Time sure as hell flies, and Jericho making his entrance. Let's see what he has to say. What have I become now that I've betrayed everyone I've ever loved? I've been sent to a Judas in my life. So from the December snow now into the new year, Jericho's back. Looks like the lead singer of a rock band that he is. And last week, him and Eddie Kingston got in it. Maybe this one Moxley comes back. And maybe he'll bring him Mitch the Plant to celebrate as a welcoming guest for Dynamite now on TBS. It's first ever AEW Dynamite on the TBS channel rather than TNT. TBS chant from the crowd. Why the hell not? I would probably assume so, but you know what they say when you assume, so I'll leave it at that. Jericho, the last time he was on TBS, he lost to King Booker T. That would have been before he got beat up in a grocery store. Jerk off 2.0 jack offs. Say that 3 times fast. Jericho's back. He didn't save Eddie Kingston. Now here comes 2.0. 2.0, underutilized as ever as in NXT. Speaking of NXT, for the most part, the WWE releases today are from there. And speaking of 2.0, here's the true 2.0 in pro wrestling in 2022. The one, as they're both Canadian. Welcome back, Jericho. The bigger guy of the two. He's better on the mic, I think. Terrence and Phillip. And 3 Canadians now in the ring, I might add. And they're good wrestlers, they are. They're heels, it's what they're supposed to be. They're supposed to be bad guys. Taste of a steel chair. Alright, I'm sure Jericho has something to say.
Sorry, I didn't like the taste, but once again, I've said this before, but I can't pay attention to what you're saying because I can't stop looking at your square head.
Square head, dude. A post-it note. Does he look like a square head? Yeah, a little bit. Square head chant. Square head, square head. The other dude's mustache, on the sides at least, not growing in as much as it is in the middle, and I think you'd want to be associated with, oh my god. There's that dude with the box on his head, he has written underrated over it with 2 eye holes cut out. So a square head, they go to a box head. Pinhead and Larry. Square head. Put them on the list. Let's make a list of all the... Yeah. Pinhead and square head. You know, another test. Jericho jumps out of the ring. What does he get? A steel chair, or he's got his baseball bat. He's got Floyd. And now he's gonna knock both their heads off. They say bring it. And now somebody from behind coming in. Who's that? Oh, Daniel Garcia. 2.0 attacking Jericho. Who's coming out to save Jericho? Eddie Kingston. The Inner Circle. Yeah, Santana and Ortiz along with Eddie Kingston. Where the hell is Jake Hager? Because the Inner Circle is Jericho, Sammy Guevara, along with Santana Ortiz, LAX, and then Eddie's taking the place of Jake Hager. I have no idea where the hell Jake Hager's been. Unless he's hurt, and I don't know about it. He's been just... As he debuted on the first ever Dynamite, which was on TNT October 19th, here we are January 2022, you'd think they'd have a big, surprise at the end of the show, just like they did with him, which really wasn't that big a surprise. But ever since then, he hasn't done jack shit. Neither has Wardlow. Like, what the hell? Now we got a highlight from Monday on Dark Elevation. Yeah, Jake Atlas, who was in WWE, he's now all in with AEW. They signed him for whatever reason. Now we're backstage. Let's go, Brandon. Brandon has the camera on, yeah. Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly. Nice Red Dragon t-shirt, too, by the way. That's brand new. So they're shocking the system now in AEW. That's a cool t-shirt, that is. And one of the Bucks, if I'm not mistaken, they announced earlier today, tested positive for COVID. So I doubt the Bucks are going to be on the show tonight. Newly signed Jake Atlas. They have history with him from NXT, but he didn't do jack shit in NXT anyway. Adam Cole and Jake Atlas on Rampage this week. Cole's going to win. Adam Cole is still the guy everyone's talking about. AEW is signing all these guys for whatever hell reason. Some of them don't make any sense at all. Cut the camera, Brandon. Yeah. He just called him Landon. This is War. Here comes Wardlow. Jobber's in the ring. The enhancement talent. So, no reaction from the crowd. The chairman himself, Sean Spears, coming out by his side. Mr. Mayhem, they call him. All he does is fucking powerbomb people 5 times because all he can do, and then he picks up a win or 2. No, just no. Be smart for them. He's eventually going to break up and turn on MJF. Just a matter of when, I don't know. Maybe it's next week with Punk and Wardlow match. Maybe it'll be in 3 weeks' time in Cleveland at Beach Break, his hometown. Looks like one of the Paul brothers is in the ring. Who? Antonio Zambrano. Alright, he's going to get out of the ring. Walk around. Give me a second. Spears going to come over and smash him with a chair. Spears actually sitting down in front of the entrance room. Yeah, here comes Spears out of nowhere, picks him up, and then slams him down. And now he's going to roll him into the ring. Ring the bell, says Spears. The ref does. And all Wardlow's going to do anyway is just powerbomb him a few times and pin him. Hell, he might not even have to do that. Just pin him. Yeah, Spears saying cover him. Oh, here comes a powerbomb. One powerbomb. Of course, they're making him look strong, but... And as the crowd's chanting one more time, he sucks. He's going to powerbomb him again. Him and Brian Cage, who has not been seen in AEW in quite some time either. Another powerbomb. They'd be perfect with Vince in WWE. Because they'd make them out to be the big sweaty guys that they are that, you know, can't really wrestle. 4 power bombs. Another power bomb. And now a cover. No, he rolls it through another power bomb. Make it 5. So another minute match for Wardlow tonight. He's going to stomp on his chest, cover 1, 2, and as he flexes 3. Wardlow with another win. Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. Just now. Spears into the ring to celebrate with him. I get the point. They're making him look strong, so when he turns on MJF, he's going to look stronger than ever. Just hopefully they do something with him eventually. He's got to learn how to wrestle, though. You can't just powerbomb somebody 5 times in a row every single match and expect to get away with it. Okay, up next, we'll have the final to the AEW Women's TBS Championship Tournament. The final with Jade Cargill and Ruby Soho, another former WWE person, and Ruby Riott. Match coming up next. And then also, really, from what they advertised and what they've added in as fillers already. Still to come, just Malachi Black and Brian Pillman Jr. Of course, up next, the Cargill-Soho match for the TBS Women's Championship. And then the main event will be, maybe we'll have a tag team debut. I don't know who. Because, yeah, it's going to be Lucha Brothers and Jurassic Express. Maybe Jurassic Express wins the titles tonight. Who knows? But, yeah, that's still what's to come, and that's it. I'm sure they'll give us a preview for Rampage, Battle of the Belts, maybe Dynamite next week. We'll see. But, yeah, an AEW Women's TBS Championship match coming up next. Cargill and Soho, Malachi Black, Brian Pillman Jr., and then the AEW World Tag Team Championship matchup with the Lucha Brothers, Penta and Rey Fenix, defending against Jurassic Express, the duo of Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. So that's where we sit for AEW Dynamite here tonight. First ever Dynamite on TBS. Been a pretty good show thus far. Still got less than an hour to go. So we'll see, of course, how it pans out from now until then. But yeah, the line of the night, and I mean, come an hour from now, when we're all said and done, probably gonna have, unless something else big happens from now until then, 3 big things happen. Of course, start, middle, end with 2 matches, and then that promo with CM Punk and MJF. Of course, you started the show off with Hangman on Page defending and defeating Bryan Danielson to retain his AEW World Heavyweight Championship. And then what looks to be the main event, the World Tag Team Championship match with the Lucha Brothers and Jurassic Express. But the Punk MJF promo segment in the middle was just awesome. The line of the night, yeah, from CM Punk to MJF. I missed the second half of it because I was laughing too hard. But here's a quote. Yeah, if you think the grass is greener over there, speaking of WWE, go main event night 4, because Mania is now 2 nights of a buy one, get one extravaganza, and then get released quicker than you last in the sack, which that makes that even more hilarious than it already was. Like I said, I completely missed that last part. I'm glad I'm reading this now, because I was laughing at what Punk originally had said. Because they were talking about, Punk basically never been able to, or never had main event under WrestleMania. So maybe MJF will after 2024. But here comes Jade Cargill. Well, just as MJF was undefeated, he lost. It's either going to be Jade Cargill or Ruby Soho as your first ever AEW Women's TBS champion. Basically the mid-card title for the women's division. The TBS Women's Championship is going to be a lot like the men's TNT Championship. That really, since Dynamite's on TBS now, unless you switch that name to just a basic TV title, that should only be on Rampage Friday night to 10 o'clock. And with as much talent as they have, Rampage is an hour. It probably should be an hour and a half, 2, rather than 3. Why not have 4 hours of TV? But, they have Dark Elevation as well, no doubt about it. But compared to TV, honestly, how many people, you want to compare ratings, watch that on YouTube. And thank you for tuning in and listening. But, it'll be interesting to see, in the end, what they do, no doubt about it. But Rampage should be before SmackDown 2, not after. It should be from 7 to 8 rather than 10 to 11. Because then you actually get people watching that for an hour, and then they get burnt out watching that rather than watching your product. So they'll show off that TBS Women's Championship. Jade Cargill, Ruby Soho in this final to determine first ever TBS Women's Champ in All Elite Wrestling. Bell rings, match underway. And Mark Sterling is ringside. Ruby's by herself, no Liv. She's still in WWE. Sarah Logan would be the only one that I would think that would come out to help her, unless they're going to team her up with somebody else. But we'll see how this goes. But slow start here. They're going to try to lock up again. But my money's on Ruby. more people know who she is compared to Jade Cargill. Jade, as I've said before, she's a mix. As Ruby's gonna send her ringside, and then spear her right in the gut. Nice kick there to the chest as well. She's a more muscular, I wouldn't necessarily say athletic, but more muscular Bianca Belair. She is. Could probably throw in, Sunny Kiss into that mix too. All three, not being racist by any means, but very similar with how they wrestle, among others. So, off the top rope, or the WWE in general, releasing talent. That they released top names like, okay, now Thunder Rosa's coming out along with Mercedes Martinez, who actually debuted last week. They're fighting each other back up the ramp. So they get involved in this championship matchup here. Jade and Ruby. Ruby getting checked out. Left shoulder might be injured. She'll be all right. She's good to go. No, the big names that WWE cut today: William Regal, Road Dogg, along with Timothy Thatcher and Denny Burch, and a few other personnel people. But other than that, nobody really worth mentioning. But best wishes, of course, whether it was budget cut or not, to them. I mean, there's just so much change going on with WWE right now, especially with NXT 2.0, and of course they had a New Year's Evil show last night, and a new champion now in Braun Breaker, Rex Steiner, Rick's kid and Scott's nephew, defeating Tommaso Ciampa, so Ciampa's probably going to get on the main roster at some point in time. But, once again, why fix what ain't broken? They should never did what they did to NXT, but here we are. So, yeah, they're releasing more people, unfortunately. So, before too long, who and when from just all the batches releases, if they haven't already showed up to at least here or elsewhere, who and when's that going to be? So we'll see. But split screen commercial here, third of the night, first in about an hour or so. Sunset opening match with Hangman and Bryan for the world title, which is retained by Hangman Adam Page. Once again, Jade gonna do some push-ups in the middle of the ring. She's fighting Ruby right now for the TBS Women's Championship. So we'll see how this goes, and then we'll see who's next in line. Because they're gonna, with the women's division, with WWE's women's division, as I said, Saturday and then Monday night as well. With day one, into Monday Night Raw, NXT last night, here are AEW, SmackDown to come, but and even Rampage and Battle of the Belts and all that. So WWE's women's division is in a state of flux. There's only a few top people, and then everybody else is, just floating, it seems like. at least with AW's here, and they're gonna probably sign a few more people. Probably, I would think. Maybe not though. They're with depth. They got some of that. Just how do you book it? How do you put it all together? That's going to be the big thing. So we'll see what they do. Back to it. Ruby and Jade here, live on TBS, not TNT for Dynamite, TBS. Rampage on TNT Friday, and then Battle of Belts Saturday. But Ruby gonna throw Jade into the corner. Fake ass buckle of the knee when she put it up there to catch herself. And then a kick out at one with the shoulder being up. Ruby now gonna climb up top, or actually get back into the ring real quick. Really working the back of that left leg. Kick the back of the thigh of Jade Cargill. Jade Langston, she's a mix, in my opinion, of Bianca Belair and Sunny Kiss. She's got the build, she's got the athleticism, but more build compared to Sunny Kiss, and then less athleticism compared to Bianca. But I mean, they have her undefeated for a reason. Whether she wins this or not, we'll see. Kick out after a kick to knock her down. Match going to continue. They say still to come. Remember that sit-down interview with Serena Deeb? I'm sure, as that's actually JR's first sit-down interview back since he returned from his cancer battle, which he successfully defeated as well. Back on call for AEW on Wednesday nights. Once again, what that means. Hopefully you do. If you don't, well, get the times, folks. It's 2022. That could end just not ugly, but, some words being said that could start something. I mean, Serena is one of the coaches. She's wrestled a few times. She hasn't done a whole lot since Double or Nothing back in the spring. And now here we are coming up, on a year later. I mean, she's had a few matches. And, she's still in a feud. I don't know why, but she is with Sheeta. So maybe they continue that. Sterling's just been thrown out. He's going to rip his jacket off and bitch and whine and complain the whole way up the ramp. And now Jade back in the ring from behind. Ruby going to roll her up. 1, 2, kick out at 2.5. Yeah, sit-down interviews to come. And then we got 2 more matches, and that's it. So unless they have something big happen at the end, Ruby, another 1, 2, and a kick out. They'll be going home here shortly. And we're going to have a good tag team championship match, no doubt about it. But for the most part, the bulk of the action, the bulk of the talk, after the championship match, they kicked off the show with Hangman and Bryan Danielson, and then, MJF and CM Punk, and then Chris Jericho. That's all in the first hour. Since then, it's, necessarily dropped off a little bit, but just honestly not as good, Like 120 minutes for 2 hours. As I say in football, it's a 6-minute game. You can't just play a half. You got to play a full game if you want to win. So we'll see how this ends here with this match, and then the whole entire show here shortly. Another 45 minutes or so. Ruby Soho chant from the crowd, and Ruby, well, She is so, fill in the blank for me. Ruby Riott, former leader of the Riot Squad. Whoever would have thought Liv Morgan was going to be the last one left. Off the middle rope, that's a botch, come on. Cover 1, 2, and Jade Cargill is your first ever AEW Women's TBS Champion. Maybe a little bit of wardrobe malfunction there at the end too, but yeah, Jade's your first ever AEW Women's TBS Champ. Still undefeated. So I don't know what they have planned for Ruby, or hell, what they have planned for Jade now. Hopefully something that doesn't involve just holding, say, the FTW championship and then not doing anything with it. Yeah. Jade Cargill, your winner. Somebody coming out to attack? No. We'll go. Of course, it's pre-recorded. JR sit-down interview with Serena Deeb, who was also part of the SES in the WWE. But now, since then, her hair has grown back, and yeah, it's her and Sheeta still. It's about me hurting her and reclaiming my spot. And then they'll cut, I would think. And the lights are probably going to go out. Malachi come out. Probably a quick match with him and Pillman, unfortunately. It might give him 5-10 minutes. Probably another commercial break or two. Main event. Preview for Rampage and Battle of the Belts, maybe Dynamite next week, and then that's it. That's your show. She's the professor of professional wrestling.
So yes, I take issue with Sheeta. Sheeta, I don't want it. I take what I want. Today, I walked into Tony Khan's office and I demanded a match with you next week.
Next week on Dynamite, it'll be Serena Deeb and Sheeta again. All right. Hell, they've done this I don't know how many times recently, but here we go again. Okay, tonight, yeah, once again, the AEW World Tag Team Championships on the line, Lucha Brothers and Jurassic Express. But up next, Malachi Black and Brian Pillman Jr. We'll see if he flies or gets put down and locked up. And the lights do, in fact, go out. So here comes Malachi, who, of course, debuted very shortly after he was released by the WWE over the summer, back at Road Rager in July. And you want to talk about somebody, say CM Punk with booking issues. Well, you could probably replace him with this guy, unfortunately, Malachi Black. Because, he's worked a few guys, but, nothing major to this point. So we'll see what the future holds, but we're about to enter the House of Black, and here comes its leader in Malachi. They say he beat Pillman's Varsity Blonde's partner and Griff Garrison. Once again, who the fuck's Griff Garrison? All jokes aside, he beat Griff Garrison 2 weeks back, and now he's going to face Pillman here tonight. He's really storming the ring. Lights are going to go out again. His entrance is pretty cool. He's going to be up on the top turnbuckle now and then sitting down in the middle of the ring the next time. But hell, compared to, what he did recently in the WWE, along with what he's done so far in AEW, it's still freedom. So whether it's a lot or not, it's still more than probably what it would have been. So take it for what it's worth. But here we are. So yeah, you know Malachi's gonna win, but here comes Pillman, and he's got a different, as he promised last week. A little bit, not much. He's still wearing that damn varsity jacket. He's got a different entrance than Titantron. But yeah, so and he still has the long hair. Still looks the same. He might have got it cut, trimmed up a little bit, but okay. Malachi Black and Brian Pillman Jr. underway here on AEW Dynamite. They lock up. And now just keep, as they go into the corner, so they roughhousing each other, just sidestepping. The Black Mass misses off the ropes. A big shoulder tackle there. Drop kick from Pillman, so we're even here. And then that running start, Pillman gonna throw him ringside. And a nice big drop kick. And they'll give us a split screen commercial here. So we'll get back to this action in this matchup shortly. But once again, thanks for tuning in and listening. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below. Thumbs up button. Share hashtag AEW, hashtag AEW Dynamite. Chat questions and comments, super chats, super stickers. Always greatly appreciated.
Finding stuff is hard, but finding a show, easy. With Universal's voice search free dish, heard in the river. Search for shows anywhere with just your voice. Across live TV and all streaming apps. Hey, you see my glasses? Do you somewhere? Clark. Because you got more stuff to look for. Voice search across live TV and streaming apps with a dish.
One hot ready classic. We actually changed it with by adding 33% more pepperoni.
Oh, that's what's coming. Well, you know what happened to me? Hot Ready Classic with 33% more pepperoni. Pizza.
We all need help. Just not always the same time.
Wait.
Maybe you just need a little. Maybe you need a lot.
I expect you.
It seems like she's got it. But she might be the next man later. And when it comes to taxes, H&R Block can help a little or a lot. At H&R Block, get the expert tax help you need, online and in person. Help is here.
It's happening.
Whatever his link is to our past, it's pulled us all back here. He's been one step ahead this whole time.
There are lots of ways to love that chicken from Popeyes. Like our sandwich and our nuggets, both marinated for 12 hours and freshly prepared, so every bite is crunchy and juicy. Get them today for only $3.99.
history is a commitment. After we got married, I got very sick. You would have every day to help me walk in bed. And now I'm back. This is a reminder that loving goes on.
By Anita Torney, inspired by extraordinary love stories. Jared, love,
So back to it here, AEW Dynamite, Malachi Black, Brian Pillman Jr. in singles action in tonight's co-main event of the evening. We got the AEW World Tag Team Championship matchup still to come with Lucha Brothers and Jurassic Express. Kick to the back of the head from Malachi. And as they're selling the mist from a few weeks back, is Griff out there ringside? I know, as doesn't look like it. What's her name is, and she's wearing an eye patch. So, yeah, just in 2022 as a fake high school tag team, like, come on now. Now Pillman off. Oh, that's a botch. Come on, dude. Well, maybe that was planned to slip and fall because then he just got a black mass. Come on now. Cover 1, 2, 3. Jesus Christ. And you wonder why you're not doing anything. I think that was planned though, to be honest with you, looking back on it now. So Malachi Black, your winner. And now he's gonna go back into the ring, and as Julia Hart, not part of the Hart family with the dungeon, and to check in on, now the Lucha Brothers are coming out early. Okay, something's gonna happen. Lights have gone out again. So the Lucha Brothers are coming down to the aid of Brian Pillman just before their match. And Malachi was calling them on. And, okay, Malachi is standing by himself as the Lucha Brothers are now in the ring. Malachi is walking up the ramp. And as the lights went out, nothing. All right, so the Lucha Brothers are already in their ring for the main event to come next against Jurassic Express. And now Shivani backstage to interview Ruby Soho. And then Britt Baker walks up. Jamie Hayter and Reba by her side. Ruby says, "Leave me alone." And now Rio coming in to beat him up. Yeah, Saturday at Battle of the Belts, it'll be Britt and Rio for the Women's Championship. AEW Rampage Friday, Adam Cole and Jake Atlas in singles action, along with Daniel Garcia in 2.0 taking on Eddie Kingston, Santana, and Ortiz. So Jericho will be involved in that somehow, and then Hook going to be in action as well on Rampage once again. Of course, they're in New Jersey, so he'll get a big pop and another win taking on Aaron Solo. who's now backstage with QT Marshall or Marshall. Bailey needs to return, but not to him. So, oh, please, Peter, shut the hell up. All right. And then also on Rampage, before Battle of the Belts Saturday night. Of course, Rampage is going to be taped after Dynamite tonight. Battle of the Belts to be live Saturday, 8 o'clock. We'll have a women's tag match on Rampage. But then Britt Baker and Rio for the women's championship Battle of the Belts. And then Cody Rhodes and Sammy Guevara for the TNT title. Is that it for Battle of the Belts? Next Wednesday on Dynamite, we'll have CM Punk and Wardlow. As they announced earlier. Sheeta and Serena. Okay, another rematch there. Hobbs and Dante Martin. Well, at least they're going to push him for Team Taz, it looks like. But up next, the Lucha Brothers taking on Jurassic Express for the AEW World Heavyweight Tag Team Championships in tonight's main event of Dynamite. So we'll get back to the action here momentarily within the commercial break right now. So stay tuned.
What will you design today? A big idea? A new opportunity? An inspired community? With Canva, you can. Start designing for free at Canva.com.
Lots of windows, great lighting. Yes. We're so angry. At least Geico makes bundling our home and car insurance easy.
We save a lot. With Voltaren, our brightest paint gel, my husband's got his needs back.
An alternative to pills, Voltaren is a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory gel for powerful arthritis pain relief. Voltaren, the joy of life. Quilted leather, ultra soft and strong, is made using an energy-efficient process. 3 trees are also quilted for usually used. Quilted leather, premium comfort and sustainability.
20 years ago, Fox brought you the biggest hoax in television history. Fox tomorrow. Joe Millionaire returns with a twist. Two Joes, a best of luck.
Who is Joe?
One is a multi-millionaire. One is not.
It's not about money, it's about love.
What? So the dating games begin. Joe Millionaire for richer or poorer. Premieres tomorrow on Fox.
Finding stuff is hard. Finding a show, easy. Right on the web, search for shows with just your voice. Across live TV and all streaming apps. Hey, you see my glasses? Voice search across live TV and streaming apps with this.
The BK $5 Your Way meals. Here to make your choice easy and so tasty. Go straight to the Double Whopper Junior with pepper hot small fries, 4-piece crispy nuggets, and refreshing small treat. Can you believe you get all this for only $5? The $5 Your Way meal, only at Burger King. The CBS original Wipeout, all new Tuesday at 9.
So back to Dynamite. The Lucha Brothers are going to get a full new entrance as nobody's in the ring, but here come Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, Jurassic Express. Whoa. Whoa. And Christian Cage by their side. They might win. They might. I mean, they are the number 1 contenders. They've never held gold before. You know, other than if you break them up, what else are you going to do together with them? Because they've been a tag team now for how long? And, well, at least finally Lucha Brothers, won the titles there at All Out. And, they've held them now for what, 4 or 5 months? So I'm fine with either. I just want something big to happen to close the show. And with this tag team championship match, you would think it's going to be a tag team, either returning or debuting. But, Zero, Miedo, Penta, and Rey Fenix, the Lucha Brothers. They are your Le Champions, the Lucha Brothers. Showing some highlights of the last time they faced off in a tag team match. This was before they won the titles. This was on a Dynamite or Rampage before All Out. So, Jurassic Express, Lucha Brothers in the ring. And we're about to get underway. Bell to ring match to start. It'll be a less than a 20-minute match here. We're top of the hour before they go home, and with TV time remaining, we're either going to have the champions retain or new champions crown. So they ring the bell, match underway, and here we go. Bryce Remsburg, your official referee. No hazmat suit for him tonight, but this is, of course, non-exploding barbed wire death match by any means. It's a simple tag team championship match. So he should referee in a hazmat suit, though. Should officiate, I should say, not wrestle. I don't know if he's a former wrestler or not. Probably is. That's why he's a ref. But he might just be a referee, though, too, for all we know. I don't know. I don't know much about the dude. I'm sure he has a wiki page, so go let me know. And go find out, let me know in the comments. But, yeah, no. Ever since then, he should have been. That's coming up on a year and a couple months. Come Revolution. Hard to believe. Holy shit. Should have been and still should be officiating a hazmat suit. Just for the hell of it. Just for laughs. But he's not, unfortunately. He needs an action figure like that, though. I can guarantee you that. That'd be absolutely hilarious. And nice big drop kick there from the Lucha Brothers to Jungle Boy. And Ray's going to tag in Penta, the Joker himself. And a tag made. Here comes Luchasaurus. So it'll be Luchasaurus and Penta. There's a super kick and a big boot. So 3/4 of the competitors, plus the ref, all have masks on. Jungle Boy's the only one without a mask. Penta gonna take his glove off. Toss that into the crowd. Okay. And then Zero, Miedo, right into the face. And then a slap to the chest. Another slap to the chest. Luchasaurus not moving an inch. Third time's a charm, not going to work though either. And then he catches this one. Knocks him down. Super kick from Ray. Super kick from Luke Perry's son in Jungle Boy. headbutt, and then Jungle Boy has him locked in hand, kicks him off the ropes, and he gets knocked down with a slap. And then a kick. They're all locking up hand in hand in a circle down the middle of the ring. And off the ropes. Okay, that was planned. Double kip up after they take each other down. And then, ooh, shit. Super kick right to the back of the head. And then a double clothesline there from the Luchasaurus to both the Lucha Brothers, Ray and Penta. So, yeah, a living, breathing human dinosaur in Luchasaurus in action. AEW Dynamite on TBS. Nice big suplex there. Cover, 1, 2, and a kick out. And as Jungle Boy slides out of the ring, ooh, shit, on the ring apron, gets kicked, and then knocked ringside again. And they'll take the final commercial break of the evening. They'll give us a split screen until it turns to full screen, because it's going to be the last one with 10 minutes to go here. Hashtag AEW, hashtag AEW Dynamite. World Tag Team Championship match continues. Lucha Brothers defending against Jurassic Express. A lot of slaps to the chest in this match. Not chops, slaps. Like, with their hand. Okay? Not a chop with the back of your hand. Your forearm. The palm. Just slapping. Tag made. Here comes Penta. Penta is the legal man on Jungle Boy. And now he's going to lock him into the ropes. And then kick him into the left inside of his leg. Looked like. Jungle Boy looking to get a hot tag for Luchasaurus, which right now ain't happening.
This ring is a commitment. After we got married, I went home. You have every bit to help you up. And now I'm back. This is a reminder of loving the world. Being determined, inspired by extraordinary wrestlers. Jen, love,
One hot ready classic.
Big super kick from Penta. And Penta stares down Zero Miedo to Luchasaurus. Covering 1, 2, and a kick out by Jungle Boy. Tag made. Here comes Ray Phoenix. Of course, tell Jungle Boy and Jurassic Express tag team partner Luchasaurus apart. Well, Luchasaurus looks like the dinosaur. He has a mask. Jungle Boy does not. He looks like Tarzan. Lucha Brothers, Ray never wears a shirt. They both are masked luchadors, but Ray never wears a shirt. Penta always has a shirt on. Luchasaurus still trying to get that tag. He might, and then that might be how it ends. But nice big clothesline. Here comes Penta. He tags in. Remember, they both have authority ringside and management. Tag made. Here comes Luchasaurus. Double shoulder tackle. Clothesline. Big boot. And then into the corner. Into the other corner. And now he's going to run back and forth, if I'd have to guess. Yeah, he will. And running backwards into him. And now another double clothesline. Luchasaurus getting the reaction, celebrating into the corner. And now he's going to go for a clothesline, or choke slam, after another clothesline that he just executed there a second ago, excuse me. And then a kick to the back of the leg, super kick. Got Luchasaurus on his knees, double super kick to the side of the head. Off the ropes. They roll that through and then cover 1, 2, and a kick out. One at a time, says Hazmat. It's about, I'd say, a good 5 minutes or so to go before they go home. And then hopefully something big to happen, close out the show, because then if not, I mean, really, since the first hour, it really dipped. Of course, the crowd there is going to get to see Rampage next live. They'll tape it, and they're Friday night, and we'll have to wait. 1, 2, and a kick out. Jurassic Express that close to winning tag team gold. Should replay that because I missed part of that. They did something off the top rope and did it simultaneously, double at the same time, and holy shit chant from the crowd now too. Took them both out, and the near pinfall. Another tag. Here comes Jungle Boy. And then a double super kick from Penta. Luchasaurus grabbing Rey Fenix. He's on the top rope. Jesus Christ. And then, Jesus Christ. Cover 1, 2, kick out at 2.5. Jurassic Express lucky to be standing after that. Both of them. Both of them broke their damn necks. Yeah, it's a good main event. Zeddo, Miedo going to go for the finish. And the lights go out. The lights have gone out in the main event. Who's coming? Who is it? Nobody. The lights have gone out a few too many times tonight. They have. Just like they did when Malachi debuted and then he came out. So, maybe he's playing mind games. I don't really know who else, it could be. Luchasaurus helping Jungle Boy, pushes Rey. He just got kicked ringside. Now they're going to go on Jungle Boy here on the ring apron. Actually, he flies over top of him, and then, Jesus Christ, right on the ring apron, a DDT. And then Rey now off the top rope. And then stomp there on his ass to pile drive him into the mat. Kick out at 2.5. This match going to continue. So maybe it's somebody coming out to help Jurassic Express. Now they're getting the table set up. The Timekeeper's table is now coming into play. They're going to move that in front of the ring here, the hard cam side. This is either going to go their way or backfire. Christian running them down. So they'll run to the back. And another chop there to the chest. A few minutes left here. Lights have gone out a few times, but nothing's happened. Super kick. Luchasaurus holding on. Not through the table just yet. Third time's a charm. Another super kick. No. He catches it. Headbutts him. And then catches Ray and then choke slams him through the table. He went through that table, I think, more than Ray Phoenix did. Choke slamming him. Yeah, see replay. Hey, well, his left side and part of his head, it looked like, hit the table on the drop. Hopefully they're both okay. So yeah, it's in the ring, Penta and Jungle Boy. And another pile driver, no. He reverses. Off the ropes. And then he rolls it through. Cover 1, 2, 3. Jurassic Express, your new AEW World Tag Team Champions, defeating the Lucha Brothers here tonight on Dynamite to kick off the new era on TBS here in 2022. They got 2 minutes still. They got 2 minutes. Lights have gone out twice. So yeah, Jurassic Express, your new AEW World Tag Team Champions. And no 8-second ride, but a 3-second count. And Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy gets the pin. 1, 2, 3, and him and Luchasaurus, Jurassic Express, are your new AEW World Tag Team Champions. And now the rest of the tag team division coming out. You see Red Dragon out there, 2.0. Private Party. Who else is at the top of the stage? FTR. The Acclaimed. There's Jericho sitting by himself. Up in the rafters. Notice the camera's on him and he started clapping. So they're all... There's Malachi. Okay. This is odd. What's happening? Something's going to happen here. Somebody's coming out. So, goodbye to Lucha Brothers as your AEW World Tag Team Champs. Say hello to the tag team of Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, Jurassic Express, as they'll get their arms raised in the win. But, yeah, Rampage to tape. Following this, aired Friday night, Battle of the Belts live Saturday at 8 o'clock. I'll have live watch long reactions over on YouTube of that, along with NFL Week 18. So be sure to tune back in for that. And just as always, be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below. And music's still playing. No surprise or anything here tonight, unless they're getting an overrun. We've hit 10 o'clock and they're still on the air. So long. Closing credits, and they fade to black, and that does it for AEW tonight. A little disappointing to finish it, even with the championship change. No, I would have thought, first show on TBS for Dynamite, no surprises at all, none. They just continue to do, or they're continuing, to do what they've done as of late. They're rolling on with these stories. No returns or debuts. The lights even went out twice, but nothing. So, and then that was awkward there at the end. I mean, everybody came out, tag team division wise, but then there were a few just singles guys just sitting up in the rafters by themselves, like, what the hell? And they kept panning to them, like, for like no reason. Obviously, it means something. We just don't know what yet. But a good show. I thought, the first hour was better than the second. No doubt about it. The Hangman Bryan rematch for the title kicked off the show. Hangman still your world champ. Then we saw the MJF CM Punk back and forth promo after MJF lost his first match in quite some time, getting DQ'd, so he loses, and then the promo. So the match was to, I don't want to put this, cover up what was to come with however long the promo was back and forth. That was fire once again. And then Jericho came out and talked. Saw 2.0 there. Along Jericho there, and then also at the end. But, they're part of the tag team division. All the tag teams came out. So, Jurassic Express, they got some contenders now. We'll see what they do. I'm sure Lucha Brothers are going to want a rematch, though. So, Jade Cargill's your new and first ever AEW Women's CBS champ as well. Malachi defeated Brian Pillman Jr. sort of after a botched finish, but looking back on it, I think that was planned a little bit, but at the same time it might not have been. I don't know. Wardlow once again, a few power bombs, but nothing special. Still won, but next week he's going to face CM Punk. Eventually Wardlow is going to break off from MJF, just a matter of when. But, we'll see what happens. But a good show. I mean, ever since December rolled around for AEW, because every once in a while, I mean, you have, a couple good shows here or there for Dynamite. For the most part, either split or 3/4 of the month are good. There's always one that's, just not a downer, but just doesn't compare to the others. No offense to whoever's on those cards by any means, but ever since December rolled around, into the holiday season here, and hopefully everyone had a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Winter's coming, the Holiday Bash, had New Year's Smash, and now the start on TBS here tonight. They've had a good past month or so, in my opinion. I mean, AEW's been hot, though, to say the least, the past 2.5, 3 years. Making other people wanting to step up their game, but have they? Well, maybe once we do get that fourth night extravaganza, whenever the hell that does happen, maybe we'll talk about that then. But, good show tonight. Could have been a little bit better, especially the second hour, I thought. It sort of went downhill after 9 o'clock. But still a good show. They'll have Rampage start taping here in probably 10-15 minutes or so, I'd bet. Air that Friday night. As Dynamite will be on TBS now, full-time, moving ahead, 8 o'clocks on Wednesday night. And then Rampage, 10 o'clock on TNT Friday nights. But this Saturday, they have the first ever Battle of the Belts. That'll be on TNT as well. Just a 1 hour show, Saturday at 8 o'clock from 8 to 9. And as mentioned, I will have live watch along reactions live here on YouTube. Then with some NFL Week 18 action as well. So be sure to tune in as we'll see. As they only have had 2 things announced, I thought, maybe they would announce something here tonight. Maybe on Friday during Rampage they will. We'll see. But yeah, it's Britt Baker defending her AEW Women's Championship against Rio, and then Cody Rhodes in a rematch from the Rampage Christmas show a few weeks back, defending his newly won TNT Championship against former champion Sammy Guevara. So, yeah, we'll see what happens from now until then. And then 3 weeks from now, AEW Beach Break, and then they'll be on the road to Revolution. We'll see if they have a TV special in February sometime, because Beach Break's been late January, early February, but now late January again. What are you going to do in February for a TV special? They might do something, they might not do anything at all. They might just run to Revolution, because that's early March, and then it's Double or Nothing time come Memorial Day. But Blood and Guts is going to be in there somewhere. I don't know when. But yeah, good show tonight. Thought, especially after 9 o'clock, could have been a little bit better. But take good with the bad. Still better than a few things WWE's doing. So take for what it's worth. But especially NXT 2.0. Because I have not watched that shit since they started. Whenever the hell that was. After the summer. But yeah, here we are in the new year. Once again, hopefully everyone had a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And let me know in the comments below what you thought of tonight's show. And once again, thank you for tuning in and listening. And hopefully you'll be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media so you can stay up to date. And be sure to tune back into the next live watch along reaction stream live right here on YouTube. Whether, of course, that's college football, the NFL, professional wrestling. I'll have live watch along reactions live here on YouTube. So hope everybody then. But yeah, here tonight, that'll do it for myself, your host, Encyclopedia Sports, Coy and Luke 96. So be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. And AEW Dynamite, no longer on TNT. They're on TBS. No surprise by any means with a return or debut, but still a pretty good show. Could have been worse. That's the thing. Could have been 10 times worse. So we'll take it. Good show. Could have been better. But yeah, over Rampage, and then we'll see how Battle of the Belts goes. I was like, when I saw it was only going to be a 1 hour show, I'm like, what? Like, why not do this Battle of the Belts down next week? Or, because you're just coming off New Year's Smash. Have Beach Break as you're going to have it late January or February now, as it's been. But then, you don't want to cluster it. You don't want to, put it all together and, whatever the hell happens, even though that's exactly what's going to happen. You space it out a little bit more. Maybe have this at some other point in time. I mean, it's the first ever. They're going to run with it and see if it works and then go from there. Trial and error. You only do so much. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. AEW's had Saturday shows before. Sometimes they panned out, sometimes they haven't. So, yeah, Battle of the Belts, Saturday, your typical Dynamite Rampage schedule throughout the weeks. And then Beach Break in 3 weeks' time. And as I was already planning on going to that show, I was hoping the week after for Beach Break to have live watch-along reactions. Then, about a month from now, but now since that's Beach Break. But yeah, I'll leave it at that. I mean, there's not really much else to be said. So yeah, be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. Links in the description below, and thanks for tuning in and listening. I'll see everybody now on, Saturday night. We'll have NFL football with the Cowboys and Eagles, and then the 1 hour AEW Battle of the Belt special. So be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. Hope to see everybody then. And then also be sure to tune in on Sunday for an NFL doubleheader. for Week 18, and then next Monday for the College Football Playoff National Championship with Alabama and Georgia, and WWE Monday Night Raw as well. But here tonight, AEW Dynamite now, for the first time ever, in the books on TBS once again. Good show, could have been better, but we'll take it. So, yeah. See everybody later. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to social media. Links in the description below.